You've heard the name Marconi, right? The father of wireless communication, the man who gave the world radio. Well, what if I told you that he wasn't the first? What if I told you the real pioneer of wireless communication was an Indian scientist who never even bothered to patent his work? This is the forgotten story of Jagadish Chandra Bose, an Indian genius who cracked wireless communication before the world even understood its potential. And the reason your textbook didn't tell you? Well, we are about to fix that. Born in 1858 in Bengal, British India, Bose was no ordinary student. He studied natural sciences at Cambridge, but more than degrees, he had vision. When he returned to India, he became a professor at Presidency College in Calcutta. And this is where everything started. He wasn't just teaching physics, he was creating it. He began experimenting with invisible waves, waves that could pass through walls, waves that needed no wires. In other words, he was working with radio waves. In 1895, let that sink in, 1 year before Marconi's first public demonstration in England, Jagadish Chandra Bose gave a live demonstration in Calcutta. He rang an electric bell from across a wall using electromagnetic waves. He even triggered a small explosion using the same technique. And it wasn't just theory, it worked. In front of a packed room of scientists and students, wireless communication happened. And here's the crazy part: Bose didn't stop there. He went on to develop a device that we now recognize as a waveguide, a component used in radar and satellite systems today. So, if Bose demonstrated wireless first, why do we credit Marconi? Simple. Marconi filed a patent, Bose didn't. You see, Bose believed that knowledge should not be sold. He refused to commercialize the science. In fact, he once wrote, "The true laboratory is mind, where behind illusions we uncover the laws of truth." But let's not ignore the context. He was a brown man under British rule. Scientific recognition in the West required patronage, politics, and often power. And Marconi, he had all three. Wireless wasn't even Bose's biggest contribution. He built the first solid state diode detector, a precursor to what would later be used in semiconductors and modern electronics. Without this, your phone, your Wi Fi, your Bluetooth, maybe even this YouTube video wouldn't even exist as it does. Over 100 years later, the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, IEEE, finally recognized Bose as the father of radio science. Outside the lab, Bose was a philosopher. He built his own instruments when colloquial institutions wouldn't fund him. He mentored Indian scientists quietly and helped plant the seeds of modern Indian science. He was in many ways a monk with a microscope. And he never let ego stand in the way of discovery. Jagadish Chandra Bose didn't fight for the headlines. He didn't care for patents or for fame. But what he gave to the world is still powering it today. And maybe, just maybe, it's time we taught our children that the father of wireless wasn't Marconi. It was also a quite brilliant Indian who believed in science for service, not for sale. If you found this story as mind blowing as I did, subscribe to Proud India, because every week we uncover the real stories that make us say, "I didn't know that, and I'm proud I do now." Jai Hind.